Another day, another episode. My name is Boniface Mutunga. Welcome to Boardroom Diaries. It's always a pleasure to have you join us in conversations to shape how we make business decisions. And I'm here joined by Ephraim Njoroge, who is the CEO and the founder of Hidden Legacy Publishers. Let's have a conversation.
So thank you so much for that question. I think it's a bridge of mentorship. A lot of young people are not mentored. Comparing the previous generations and what we see now, there is a breach of mentorship. And so I will encourage the older generation to actually do mentorship to the younger generation. But this is something that I talk about in my book, Hidden for a Season, that this generation is actually the now generation. They've been raised up in a time when everything is now. I call them the microwave generation. And we need to have a generation that actually mentors them, and especially matters ethics in the workplace, so that they are well nurtured in the right way. Thank you. We started back in 2016. That is where I had the passion of actually writing. It started with authorship. So I started authoring books, and I did my first piece called Destiny. And after campus, I called a friend called Mbugua and told him about a vision to actually start a company. So on the 6th of June 2020, we started a company and we called it Hidden Legacy Solutions. But by and by, we got to narrow down to publishing. And so that is where the company started. We have a team of 10 plus employees who work with us. We have a team of editors. We have our brand ambassador, who is Pastor Eugene Okanda. And this year alone, we've been to Uganda, and we are hoping to be in every country that we've served our clients in. Hidden Legacy is a name from, we unveil legacies of people. So we unlock legacies and bring them to life. So we call ourselves Hidden Legacy because when you write a book, you leave behind a legacy.
That's true.
So bringing in your manuscript and allowing us to actually publish it allows us to, give you the chance to actually put forward your legacy. Number one, I'll start by saying that great leaders are great readers.
Something to take home.
Very true. And so one of the things that you want for every author, if you want to write a book, you have to be a person who loves reading. And so one of the motivation that I had was not writing fast, but it was reading. I remember having a library of around 100 plus hard copy books while in campus, and so I called writing as an outflow of what you already have in your mind as knowledge.
In Africa, they say we are lacking that culture of readers. And I don't know how true is that, according to you.
Yeah, that's true, because as a publisher, you'll actually experience that very few people, actually when they come to publish, we have very few prints, very few copies in print. And so that translates to why we have very few people purchasing and actually authoring and reading, reading the books. And people, especially in these parts of Africa, would actually buy a book to promote the author, not to actually read. So we have very few people, but where we come in is to promote this. Again, we are raising young authors. Our first customers and esteemed ones are university students, and so we call upon them and actually invite them, and we have a 30% discount for every university student that comes to publish with us. The number one marketer for your books, I tell authors, is yourself, because you know your family members, you know your friends, so you're the first marketer. But number two, we have platforms such as Amazon that sells your books on all countries in the world, so you can have your book read worldwide. But again, we have local partners that we've actually signed with. One of them is Nuria Bookstores, and so I have my books there, but I will also encourage authors. This one cuts across, so you can actually have your books with them. It's a bookstore here in Nairobi.
Okay.
First step is actually signing a non-disclosure agreement form. So this document allows you to curb any form of infringement that comes with people stealing your manuscript. So you sign that on behalf of, we sign on behalf of the company, but you also sign as an author. So after that, you submit the signed document and then proceed on to uploading your manuscript. Now our editorial team will approve your work, and you'll get an email from us saying that your manuscript has been approved. After that, we move on to either having proofreading or substantive editing for your book. Now that will depend on the magnitude of mistakes in your book, but again the editorial team has the last word on that. After that, we would love to do that is a cover design and mock-up for your book, just to help with the marketing a bit of your book. But again, from there we do the book layout design that allows your book to have an all-age font, but again the layout that pleases the eyes of your readers. But again, you get to choose which type of paper, either off-white, cream white, or the white paper. From there, we get an ISBN from the Kenya National Library Services, and we also have a copyright from the Kenya Copyright Board. I will also do a sample for you just to check with the quality of paper, but again the quality of print that has been done, and then from there you give us a go-ahead to actually do printing, a mass print for your book. Now from there, you can actually choose to have your book uploaded on Amazon or on our Quilt Reader platform.
Okay.
So allow me to answer your question in this way. Let me talk to every young person who wants to start their company. And like we started the first question about Gen Zs.
Yes.
Gen Zs don't want to start small. I've seen that. So I encourage you to start small. The Bible talks about do not despise the humble beginnings. And so you want to start from where you are. You want to start small. I started my business at home. I was actually employed in 3 companies, and I resigned trying to get on my feet as a company.
Yes.
And that took us quite a while, 1 to 2 years. In the first years, I was multitasking between employment and having my company. Right now I have an office in Nairobi, which was not the case when we started. And so I encourage every person who wants to start a company, don't start at the top, because when you start at the top, you do not have the strength and the tenacity to actually handle the challenges that are there. If I was to be given the same office I have right now,
Yes.
Then I will not handle that.
And someone said you
Yes.
cannot climb a tree
Yes.
from the top.
You
We all
cannot.
begin down there.
So you have to grow. You have to grow. You have to labor. You have to embrace the process. And this generation needs to learn that the process, it is in the process that we get to grow. And God has not changed his ways of preparing people. He prepares people from when he prepared Joseph. We see him preparing Moses. Moses was in the wilderness he was in the palace for 40 years. He went to the wilderness for 40 years. And then in the 80th year, he was actually entrusted ministry. And so God has not changed his way of preparing people. He does not use microwaves, I say. He uses GCOs, like in the past. And so let us not forget that one point. As times are changing, God is not changing. He remains to be the same yesterday, today, and forever.
All right.
And so this is an encouragement, and also something to speak to anyone out there who wants to start a company. Please start small. It could be in your home, it could be in your backyard, it could be in your friend's office. Start where you are, but have a vision and aim high.